what's up, you? Have you ever heard of the phrase typical male, typical female? I'm sure you have. You're probably wondering, what does that mean? Where did it come from? Well, my friends, in this video, we're going to discuss that very topic, that very situation, and answer those questions for you. So buckle up, my friends, because we are about to shake some stuff up. Woo! Let's get it. Hey, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate that. So, what are we talking about? Previously, I had mentioned the two phrases, typical male, typical female. Let's break that down some, okay? What does that mean? Well, it means we're talking about stereotypes. In other words, labeling, right? So, let's get into it. I wrote some things down here, and now I'm gonna hit it up freestyle, right? So, let's get into that, okay? So, let's take this quick journey into the mentality of stereotypes, okay? So, here's what I wrote. I like to write, take notes, stuff like that. So, as human beings, we are programmed into the idea of coming together as groups. The in-group and the out-group, okay? That's just basic. Basically, it's in short like the in-crowd, you know, a gang, a unit, if you're in the military, a pack, right? You ever heard of a pack of wild dogs, right? Well, that's basically stereotyping things, okay? Now, so, let's get into what stereotype actually means, okay? Stereotype is a general belief of a particular category of people. That some might have ideas about those people in a certain group, okay? Based on personality, appearances, and or abilities, amongst other things, okay? Most times, these are inaccurate and overgeneralized, right? Correct. So, and they're also opposed to new information. So it's basically you're stuck in your belief, you're stuck in that stereotype. I'll get into the examples in a minute, okay? Just getting you the written part, right? But sometimes those inaccuracies or overgeneralizations can be pretty dead accurate, right? So here's a couple examples, right? Number one, police profiling, right? The police have to have a certain type of, we'll say, certain kind of way, a certain kind of procedure, certain kind of mentality to what? Identify individuals. And how do they identify those? Sometimes it's through the groups, right? Also political parties, even right down to tarot card reading. Yeah, tarot card reading, what? You can't be stereotyping tarot card readers, can you? I think you could. Here's some more examples. Let's take tarot cards, for example, okay? So, I'm sure y'all know what tarot card is because that's what we do, right? It's pretty popular on YouTube, right? So now this is tricky. Why? Because you have different groups within the tarot community. And I'll explain this exactly, okay? Generalization of tarot card readers are labeled or stereotyped as occultists, spiritualists, even devil worshippers. I don't like that phrase at all. And fortune tellers, right? I don't know about that, but you know, we'll get into it more. Okay, so that's basically like the written part about it, right? Now let's break it all down. Here comes the freestyle. My handy dandy notebook up. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're taking the example of tarot card reading. Okay, now people want to say, ooh, tarot card reading is bad. You're a blasphemer. You're a devil worshiper, Satanist. You see how it goes on and on and on, right? Well, some of those are inaccurate and some of those aren't, okay? So I guess technically tarot card readers would fit under the general characterization of occultists, because a cult has different members in it, we'll say, okay? You have different types of practices that fall in line under this category, right? So you have people that do witchcraft, right? You have people that do the tarot cards. You have people that read the fortune telling, like, divination, which, by the way, is blasphemy in the Bible. So we don't try to divinate anything, right? It's like predictions and stuff, right? We don't try to do that. But nonetheless, okay? So those are some of the examples of the category of tarot card readers fitting into the group of occultists, which have subcategories, like I just mentioned, right? Way difficult, too crazy to understand, and definitely creates a wedge. Creates a wedge. To those that are ignorant, they're never going to budge. Well, let's change that word to never to they probably won't. Right? Okay, so breaking it down further. I'm definitely not a devil worshiper. Okay? I'm surely not. I'm not a divinationist. I'm not into black magic and things like that, right? So to label me or anyone else that's in the tarot community as those things is pretty inaccurate, right? Because there's no basis as an individual for you to prove that I am a devil worshiper. So when we get into these labeling, stereotype mentalities, we're judging people. And sometimes it's necessary because we have to place individuals in a group to get us to have an understanding to the rest of the group of people that are in line with your ideas, mentality, and beliefs. I'm going deep, right? So an example of that would be fifth graders, right? Whether you're a boy or you're a girl, y'all in the fifth grade. Ain't no change in there, right? There's no subcategories of that. So that idea of stereotyping all little kids around a certain age are in the fifth grade. That's pretty accurate. So you can't really change that. So sometimes labeling and stereotyping is a good thing. Okay? But sometimes they're not. So back to the tarot, right? So I'm a cusp reader, right? I'm also a cusp baby, right? That means a cusp is basically your zodiac sign that just happens to fall in between two other zodiac signs, right? Because if you think about it, the constellations are like a clock. How many zodiac signs are there? 12. Well, technically 13, but they don't really put that in there, right? See how the stereotype changes because of your maybe personal beliefs and not based on fact. Isn't that interesting? Because back in ancient times, there was 13 zodiacs, Draconia, something like that. Forgive me if I'm not verbatiming it, right? But it was like the constellation of a dragon, right? So that technically would be the 13th constellation. But in modern days, we don't even apply that. Why? Because somebody believed that it wasn't really true and they just changed it up, right? So now we're going back to cusps, right? So the cusp is basically, like I said, the constellations are, in fact, like a clock. And we basically, in the Western world, go off of 12 zodiacs, right? So the sun does rotate, right? Around, everything rotates, right? So when the sun is in, let's say, we'll just say Virgo, right? Boom, sun's in Virgo, right? Now, the sun is there for a lot amount of time, an allotted amount of time. Then it transitions into the next sign, which would be Libra, right? But here is where the misinformation, the confusion, the bias, certain platforms, I'm not calling out anybody names, but that sun actually is in transition between those two signs, Virgo and Libra. So there is a time frame, let's say when I was born, that the sun was in transit between Virgo and Libra. Thus, what? Making a different category within the same group to now form what we call cusps. Because it's a true story. Astrology, they don't want to believe it. Why? Because there's no indicator, there's no clue, there's no sign, there's no physical evidence like there would be of the constellation Virgo or Libra. So we get stuck in those beliefs because we don't know anything else. And that can become hardcore, right? Even devastating, criminal, you name it. People's beliefs are pretty strong, right? So we got to tread lightly with that stuff, right? So, nonetheless, when you have the cusps like that, right? So now we'll take my doing tarot card reading for cusps. You're probably saying, what the hell is this all about stereotyping? Where are you going with all this and all that? Just sit your butt down, relax, okay? I like to talk. I give very detailed analogies of the facts, ma'am or sir. So let's just go. Right, so I do the cusp readings. And now I'm placed in the category of tarot card, which is the subcategory of occultists, which is a subcategory of a subcategory of a subcategory, on and on and on, whatever. Okay, so check this out. I did some research. First of all, I wanted to see what zodiac signs. I told you I was going freestyle, so just hit it up, let's go, right? The signs I was curious about in this community that we have, I wanted to see how many individuals fall under this category. Let's say Leo, right? So I looked up Leo. There's like 1 million subscribers. That's crazy, right? So I went through the whole damn list of zodiacs, and there's millions of people that are falling under these categories, right? Also, the number of tarot card readers that individually do these signs is off the charts. And, of course, all the videos, these content creators, you beautiful people that create a Leo tarot card reading is kind of phenomenal, right? High numbers, high numbers, okay? So if we're going to think of categories, subcategories, tarot card is the category. The subcategory would be cusps. So now I looked up cusps, right? Wouldn't you know that hardly anybody gets to watch cusp readings? Hardly anybody knows about cusp readings? Hardly anybody is actually doing cusp tarot card readings? But you said that cusps are a zodiac sign. Well, technically a zodiac sign. Well, they really have 2 zodiac signs if you want to get technical about it. Because they share the characteristic traits of one sign to another. Because they're dead smack in the middle of both. So you have the influence of both. Kind of like the Earth in the middle of the sun and the moon. Okay, because the sun is bigger, that's the tarot category. And Earth is the person. The moon is cusps. Okay? So because the moon is way smaller than the sun, some people on that side of the Earth that's closest to the sun can't see the moon, so they don't know what's there. So, where am I going with this? What am I going to do with this? What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that in this platform, when you think of stereotypes, there has been a bias formed against the cusp readers, and it's proof and evident of the lack of views that we get on our channels. I looked up other tarot card readers, and I was disgusted to see that these beautiful people that do such amazing creative work would have like 32 views in 3 weeks. That's an example, right? That's not exactly true because I could go and get the statistics that I looked up to give you this factual information, but I don't want to do that. Just generalizing it. But I think you get what I'm saying. And so now when you look at like Leo, well, bam, some readers are getting like 7,000 views in an hour. Now, I can't really say and form an opinion on the facts of why that is, other than basing it off of the generalization of like astrologers don't believe that the cusps are real. Or the astronomers, astrology, it's all kind of the same garbage, just subcategories, right? So they don't, other people, they have formed this belief system to what? Not believe that cusps are part of the zodiac tarot card reading process, spirituality, the occultism, all this category labeling things, right? And so they get stunted. I really believe this because the facts show that. Multiple views from different channels with less viewers than the typical male, typical female, typical astrology, is typical tarot card readings. There's nothing typical here, okay? It's a group of people that formed a opinion or a belief system inaccurately to then now what? Suppress these cusp tarot card readers. 32 views in 3 weeks. That's freaking shameful. Because some of these cusp readers are way better than the tarot card readers. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do with making up your own cards. I'm not calling anybody out, but it seems to be a trend. And I just wanted to know something, okay? This is sidebar, right? Sidebar, which means pausing the topic of discussion. We're going to talk about something else. Okay, so if you're writing your own cards for tarot, right? That means you have to have some kind of knowledge, which are words you're going to write down on these index cards, right? Hold that thought. My dog's got to go out. I'm back. Okay, so yeah. So you have to have some kind of information to write down on these cards, because with the regular tarot cards, oh look, I have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords has a definite meaning of what this is representing, okay? So the person that made this card had to have some kind of knowledge, some words to define what this card means. And that's technical because now we're going to get into a whole different bunch of aspects, subcategories of this one group. Many categories, because you have the swords, you have the numbers, you have the visuals. There's a lot that goes into it. So they had to have some kind of knowledge, information, words to use to give you now a pictorial image of the meaning. So those people that write their own cards out, which is a nasty trend, right, by the way, to write a story. That's what you're doing. You're writing a story. Because we're telling you a story. Your story. But I think it's completely bogus. Why? Because, like I said, you have to get this information from somewhere to be able to write on the index card. Like if someone's carrying a disease. Well, let's get into that for a moment. Not who the hell, but where the hell did you get this information from? Okay, was it a channeled message? Did you get it in a dream? And so you wrote it down? Maybe. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt with that. But there's 72 cards in a deck, my friends. That's 72 index cards of different meanings, different suggestions, whatever you want to call it. But is it based off fact? I highly doubt it. Maybe some, maybe not. Depends on how you're getting and where you're getting your information from. Okay? And so for me, I believe that, oh, by the way, those readers get blown up. They get blown up for that, right? Because a lot of them place a lot of fear into their readings, negative energy, right? So they're not even possessed by the Holy Spirit. They're possessed by some kind of demons. And you all can say whatever you want about me because I give two shits, okay? On my channel, I keep it real. And I'm never going to change that just because what? I'm going to say that you guys are maybe bogus? Because there's no validation in your information? Because with this, my friends, I can get the book and it's going to give me the definition. Okay, so now us advanced tarot card readers, we use that as a basis, as a platform, as a foundation to now see further into past the definitions, into the other symbologies of the visual of the card, the meaning of the actual, like, swords, right? And then the number part about it. So we use multiple ways, factual information to let our intuition bloom, to tell you different things. So was these index card people, tarot card readers, was their information based off of factual knowledge of looking at somebody's social media and then writing down because you found out that they're going on vacation in 2 days? So now you're going to write on your index card, oh, I feel you're going to go on vacation in 2 days. Well, that's factual information. But we'll get into the manipulation part about that further into the video, because I think you already know that would be manipulation. All right, it's a con, it's a scam. Everybody's falling for it. You can't believe it. It's kind of disgusting. I want to know where your intuition is, really. I want to know where your skill is, where's your talent, right? Copycatters. Okay, so with the bias formed of a platform that maybe doesn't believe in cusps, it's somehow withheld, because I don't think that with millions and millions and millions of people that watch a certain platform that we use to get like nothing out of it. So when you're stereotyped and when you're labeled, we get into different psychological and emotional factors that affect us. Okay? Example. I have tattoos, right? I have a lot of them, boom, tattooed out, yeah. Some traditional folks might say, well, you're not supposed to write on your body because that's ruining the temple that God made for you in your body. So you're basically blaspheming. And that's a sin. Well, not so sure about that. Okay, so right then and there, despite the appearance, despite the good looks, the charm, the charisma, the talent, the stereotype of these tattoos would say that I could be a criminal. And then we could talk about subcategories. Criminal, domestic abuser, drug addicting person, alcoholic, con man. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And those people are so ignorant because they're judging me off my tattoos and placing me in a category that I don't belong in. So now, when you get that pushed on you, like the cusp readers that get no views, 32 views in 3 weeks, I'm disgusted with that, with the millions of people and the opportunity that's being withheld. And I'm proof of that, right? Look at my channel. The views are like so low, it's crazy. But you look at all my analytics, man, I don't know about getting 96 subscribers in 30 days. I don't know about blowing it up and, other things like that to disprove the bias. Well, I should say to prove the bias. Right. So back to the tattoo, right? I'm not being classified as anything but what I am, okay? And so I'm not a bank robber that a policeman can profile me and say, well, he's got tattoos, so he looks like he could be a bad person. I don't know. Look at, you could see the tattoos and you could say, well, the symbolism doesn't show any of that. But who's going to really look that close to say, oh, well, because you have the word divine written on your arm, well, then that makes it all better. People aren't going to change their beliefs. The only way they're going to change their beliefs is once they get to know me. Yeah. Okay, so now once we get to know that in the tarot card community, there are cusp tarot card readers that are just as good or even better than the category of just tarot card reading. Kind of playing favorites a little bit, right? But understanding the facts, okay? I'm present in this life because I was born in between two sides. Prove me wrong, you can't. So then you have to change your belief about what you feel with cusps because of the misinformation and the inaccuracies of other people's beliefs, because that it falls into the stereotyping groups, the in crowd, the out crowd. So, some people might be on the fence with that and say, oh, okay, well, they are an excellent reader. Oh my God, that I totally resonated with their reading. But because Billy and Jimmy and Tina and Harry and Larry and your mama don't believe that that's even part of the category, I gotta fall in line with that. So now I'm going to conform to the group that I lean to, right? So if I'm going to believe in tarot card readings and watch them, well, the generalization of the bias is that of labeling. So now when you have something that is in the same category, but maybe a tiny different, most people are still going to place those cusp tarot card readers in the category of nope. Look at, you got no views. That just proves that this doesn't really exist and you're just making it up. Shut up. Because what you're doing is you are now basing your beliefs off of your peer pressure to the group because everybody else thinks that it's not real, and you kind of was on the fence, but now because of everybody else, you're like, well, I don't believe it either. Now you're putting me in a predicament to now what? Psychologically affect me by, one, holding the knowledge, placing us in the same category, giving us the same benefits of opening up our channels and letting other people see this. But they're stuck in the group, not changing their ways. I read you the definitions, right? So psychologically, what you're going to do to me is you're going to make me feel two ways. One, I'm going to feel that I didn't work hard enough. I didn't put in the effort. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I don't have the skills. I don't have what it takes. Or two, I'm going to be defensive. And I'm going to prove you wrong. And why? Because there's some kind of validation that goes on with this idea of fitting in. Fitting in. Okay? So when you label somebody, when you stereotype them in a way that's condemning to them, like I just explained, I'm not good enough. I don't have the skills and talent. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just making all this shit up. Now you're gonna get me to quit. Or you're gonna make me say bullshit. I'm gonna step it up. I'm gonna throw all the facts up in your face. Because the sun does transition between sides, right? It just doesn't hop from, okay, so if you think of the clock, right? So 12 o'clock, that's the first, say, zodiac, so Aries, right? So for every hour, it's 12 hours. In the day, it's 12 zodiac signs. So you're telling me, because you don't believe in cusp readings or tarot card cuspers and whatever, that astrology proves this isn't true, because there's no visual, factual evidence of this. So you're telling me that when we look at our clock, the way we're reading it is hour to hour, right? And there's no in between. So when the time changes from 12 o'clock, it goes right to 1 o'clock. And from 1 o'clock, it goes right to 2 o'clock. And from right to 2 o'clock, it goes to 3 o'clock. Thus transforming that idea into the sun transforms or transitions from Aries right to Taurus. And then from Taurus right to Gemini. And on and on and on. There's no in-between time. But on a clock, there's minutes. 12:01, 12:02, 12:03, 12:04, 12:05. You know? And that is how the sun performs its duty in its transit. So when it hits 12 o'clock, it's Virgo. Okay, you've been in there, Virgo, for 5 minutes. Time to get out. 12:06, 12:07, 12:08, 12:09, 12:10. Now you're in Libra at 12:10. So how do you discount the time of that? The sun doesn't bounce from one sign to another. It ticks, like the minutes on a clock. Yeah. Busted. Myth busted. Telling you. And that's the facts, Jack. If you don't like it, tough crap. So, what do you think about that? So as a society, my friends, we need to bust stereotypes, okay? Like some political leaders categorized us individuals in the society who are the backbone of this country and supporting y'all gold diggers, because we don't have a mansion and we don't have fancy clothes and $10,000 ice cream bar that I can eat in front of you and make fun of you. We're deplorables. We're subpar people. We're below the human existence. Because we don't fit into their elite group, because we don't have Lamborghinis and shit, right? But if I stole your money, I'm sure I could drive a Lamborghini. I'm talking about the elite and the politicians that milk us for all we got, right? Keep us on this platform of categories. That's why we have the upper class, the middle class, the lower class. And because you have to have government assistance to keep your household afloat, doesn't make you a lower class than me, who might be in the middle class, or somebody that's in the upper class. Just because other people have things that other people don't doesn't make them less than. Because I bet you somebody that has to have government assistance, food stamps, all this other stuff, to make it because they just can't do it. That maybe they were married, got divorced, and now they're drowning, all this other stuff, whatever. You can fit the examples where they're gonna be necessary, but that lower class person might be freaking smarter than you could ever be on your upper elite class, right? I had this kind of weird analogy type thing of when I was in the service, right? I was in the Army, I did my time, right? Yeah, broke off. Went to war twice. And I experienced a lot of things, right? And I definitely seen the stereotype, the labeling from both sides, right? Because if you're a certain rank, you have to be placed in that category, because everybody that is in for a certain amount of time is only allowed to be this kind of rank until the clock changes and the minutes go, and then you get to the next cycle, which is now you get to get an advancement and go to the next rank. So when I was in service, there are two divisions, two classes of people, two groups. You have the enlisted, which are the people that actually do the hands-on kind of things, right? They're the logistics, they're the infantry, they're the tank drivers, mechanics, you name it. Those are those people that do the worker bees. And the other group of people is the the officers, right? Those are the people that went to college. Those are the people that have the book smarts. But those are the people that never got their hands dirty. Meaning, they have not applied their knowledge to the skills of an experience of a life lesson. Meaning, they went to school for mechanics, but they never touched a vehicle in the present moment. So, when sometimes officers come in fresh, they get their big head syndrome. Ooh, I'm an officer. So now they automatically assume if they're the lowest ranking officer, a lieutenant. We call them butter bars, because their rank is like silver. It's like a tab, like a gold bar. So these individuals automatically, in their head, put themselves on the level of the highest ranking officer. 4-star general. But when you look at the other group, the enlisted, there's nothing like that. You don't have a private who's the lowest rank. Well, E0 is really the lowest rank. Is not looking at the highest ranking enlisted member, which would be Command Sergeant Major, who's like 8 ranks above yours. Doesn't have that mentality of I'm in the same category, so that means I must know everything that person does. Now I'm entitled to what that person has. See where I'm going? So in society that's non-military, do the same thing. When people get stereotyped, either A, the group that's stereotyping them is going to make this person or people so intimidated and made to disbelieve their own facts, to psychologically affect them, emotionally affect them. So now maybe that private sees how this mentality is of the officer, the lieutenant, right? High and mighty and book smart, right? Oh, you know everything. You're a tough guy. You know everything, right? Well, come over here and get this wrench and put your hands on this shit and let me see what you know. And I can't because I don't have the experience. I don't have the facts. I have the knowledge because I read the books. That's how I graduated college to become an officer. The officers make the plans and the enlisted enforce the plans, right? Backbone of the Army, right there. But there are in that group of enlisted that are better than the officers. Even to the highest command of that 4-star general. Because they have not only the hands-on, but they have the knowledge, the facts, the skills. But like I said, each rank has a certain amount of time frame that they're allotted, and then they can go into the next rank. They cannot before that. So they're being placed in a group that maybe they don't really feel they belong in, because they have all of the other attributes and abilities to prove otherwise. So being stereotyped, that person is going to either fail and say, I don't want to rank up, because it's useless. I'm never going to be able to show my true skill set, knowledge, talent, and be rewarded for that idea like others are. So now I'm going to be stuck in this group. So I'm going to not try. I'm not going to do. Others will be like, you know what? Watch this. And then they do so many different things to break the mold of a stereotype or being labeled to say, ooh, all privates are dumb because they don't know anything. They don't have any experience. They don't do this and that and that and this. Like a sergeant would. Hell no. Some people are meant to break barriers, break the mold, bring the truth, bring the enlightenment. And then people are in awe when they see this person perform that. You people forced this kind of way. Make it or break it. And that's kind of bogus because everybody has their own talents, everybody has their own skills, everybody has their own kind of thing. And to deny that because you think that because this person has tattoos, he must be fucking criminal. I don't know about criminals going to college and successfully having a 3.3 grade average in college. It's pretty hard as a criminal. So your lack of understanding of that person that went to college that has those tattoos is shameful on you. And it's actually what's destroying our society. Okay? Another example. And I get borderline almost in trouble because I say things off the hip, which a lot of people are afraid to do. So another example of this stereotyping is the class of races that we have labeled on your job applications and all these other craps that we have to do. Why? Let's take black people. Now, most people would categorize black people as what's typically being shown of black people. And it's sad. Because the environment they live in is actually what's suppressing them to want to make themselves better. So those are the ones that try hard, go to school, and become fucking first president of the United States as a black person. Then you have those other ones that are fit in that group as well. Because you're a black person, you must do drugs, you must sell drugs, right? That kind of stereotyping, that kind of labeling. And you defeat that person. Because that person never did, but the struggle in their environment wants them to do better and be better. So now they can't go to college because they're just shy of the requirements because they couldn't get a financial loan. Some shit like that. So now they're gonna look for the easy way out, which they think in their mind is what is gonna progress them to be better. So they get caught up with things that they necessarily didn't want to. But because the group they were placed in and the stigma and stereotypes that were labeled on them is either gonna make you or break you. And as a society, it has broken many, many, many people. And I'm here to say that's gotta stop. Because technically, let's get into the logical part about it, right? Every person that is black is labeled black, right? But they don't want to see that, so now I'm African American. That's cool. I can dig that, but can you make it known as the facts that you actually are from Africa? Because I am. I'm white as Casper, but I'm part black. So how are you going to stereotype me? How can you have a white black person? It makes no sense, does it? Oh, because it doesn't fit into the stereotyping label categories. So, technically, a black person is not black. They're brown, man. So right off the bat, people that label people black are just ignorant. Because there's not too many black people, okay? Like this. Well, let me get better. The color of my screen is what color? That's black. How many friends, family, people that you know, employees, workers, whatever, are this color? I haven't seen one freaking person like this yet. No. So now we're even labeling people wrong, aren't we? Most everybody that's black, African American, whatever, they're brown. So we can't even get our stereotypes right because somebody's colorblind. Get out of that shit. Let me see, what else do I have as an analogy to give you guys the real deal? Oh, this is perfect. What color is this? Yellow. Asian people are classified as being yellow-skinned. I haven't seen a motherfucker that's this color ever in my life, have you? Unless you're dressed up as a clown going to some kid's party, because that's your job. And it's still multicolored. So you see where I'm going? These are the inaccuracies that get people stuck in these groups of being labeled yellow-skinned. You're a black man. My eyes see no yellow in this person unless you have jaundice. Well, then maybe you should go to the doctor. And you don't really look black to me because this is black. We could take it a step further and say, guess what? It's just a mutation of your skin. Why? Because you and your family, your ancestors lived closer to the equator, which technically is the middle of the earth, which that's the closest part to the sun. Therefore, those regions being hotter. So you just basically have a tan. So when we divide people by stereotypes, black man, yellow man, red bone woman, like, I don't think your bones are really red. I really don't. And that could just be terminology for their ancestry, whatever, but still, it's misinformation that is making people form belief systems to put people in these stereotypical labeling groups where they don't belong. And to me, that is the most obscene thing that we live through. True. And that should be the first thing we change. Because you know why? Whether you're black, whether you're yellow, whether you're green, or whether you're whatever, you're a human being. Human being. Prove me wrong. I can't. So sit down and be quiet. The only label should be is categories that are on job applications, whatever that we fill out to conform to the misinformation of the beliefs of the people that create this crap for us. It should be only two categories. Are you a man or are you a woman? Don't get into the sex thing, man, because, you know, a gay person has feelings, just like a straight person does. A black person has emotions. See, there we go. You're self-imposing me to put me in this prison of this stereotype because I gotta say black. Because that's how I gotta bring your awareness to what I'm talking about. And that's shameful because I'm actually not correct. That makes me really logically, rationally, makes me look dumb because this person that is my friend is not black, he's brown. So now I look like an idiot to myself, but y'all others that want to fit that group are just as dumb, but you're not understanding it because maybe you are colorblind. I don't know. But I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not me. It's never been me. Don't ever put me in a box because I'll show you how to get out of that box, but I'll wrap you up so you can't ever get out. Trust me. So we need to fix these kind of things. That's the first place we need to start. Stereotyping stuff. We need to eliminate that. Some of it has to be implied. Some of it does. Like I said, categories shouldn't be black, white, Asian, Pacific, and American because you know why? A lot of people have not come from those places. Their family has. Their ancestors. My ancestors come from West Africa, man. But do I look like that? So you're going to stereotype me as white, but I'm throwing around like, you know, some of the attitude, maybe some of the style, some of the characteristic traits of that group, which would be labeled African, which would be black. But they're really not black. They're really brown. Because I want you to show me one black person. Show me one black person. And I'll shut up. But you can't, so you have to shut up and listen. Know that there's not a black person on this planet. I mean, dark, yes, you could be really dark brown. Almost looking black. But our eyes play tricks on us and everything, so rarity, oddity. But that's fact. So we are living in a society where we're basing shit off non-factual information. Because Pacific Islanders, whatever you call them, were you born over there? Were you born in Polynesia? No. Was your grandmother? No. Was your mother's mother? Maybe. See what I'm saying? So to label people as African Americans when they never been there, they never was born there, doesn't work. Because I'm labeled white. but I have ancestry from Africa. Where does that fit in the group? Do I go with the black people or do I go with the white people? Do you see how that puts that twist on people to either make or break them? It's gross. It's really gross because then people get stuck that way. Oh, because one dude robbed a bank and he had all these tattoos. Now I'm so scared that everybody that has tattoos is a bank robber. Well, old lady or old man or youngin or whatever, you're kind of misinformed. Because this tattoo guy went to college. Doesn't even have a criminal record. Robbing a bank? I'll work for that shit and make more money than I could, that I need, because I'm happy with what I can achieve. How far I want to go, because I'm not materialistic. Okay? So, let's join together in a prayer. Our Father, please hear our prayer. Thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for the love, the mercy, and the forgiveness that you show us daily. Thank you for the opportunities that you place in our lives. Though some are missed, some are gained, we're still grateful. But I ask you on this day, our Heavenly Father, please help us heal our hearts in the understanding that we are all one. We are all brothers and sisters. We're all children of you. Whether you're black, or you're white, or you're friggin' alien. You made us in your image and your likeness. So help us as a society heal our hearts in this world to eliminate and defeat some of these confusions that the devil has placed upon us. And with your love and your mercy and your greatness, help us rebuke these demons and these devil ways to let the light shine and expose the truth so we all can live peacefully, happily, as you intended. In your name I pray this. Hallelujah. Well, I think that's about it for today, my friends, right now. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for sticking around to the end, especially with that little prayer. Appreciate y'all really listening. If you made it this far, you're a trooper, okay? You should probably subscribe. Definitely hit the like button. And check out some of the perks that I got going on with my channel, okay? I got memberships going on, different levels of that, different perks. Also, I do personal readings now. I have my own website, so if you want to have a personal reading, I am also a life coach. So I do multi-things to help you, assist you on your journey to become one with yourself. So, that has been your journey. Appreciate y'all time. Have yourself a wonderful day. I'm out.